Hello everyone, my name is TV as you well know, and in this video I wanted to take a moment to talk about Facebook advertising. In the last 2 or 3 months, Facebook advertising has become the prominent service that I offer to my clients, even more than AdWords. And I am still the biggest fan of AdWords and believe that you can build your company and build your entire revenue stream within your company on AdWords. However, there are instances where Facebook, in many instances, almost 90% of the time, where you can use Facebook when you first start out, or you can use Facebook as your only way of driving traffic, although I would recommend never letting any one channel be your only way. But the point of it all is that I am moving my business more and more into Facebook ads and using it for my clients as well as for myself. And the big question, obviously, that everyone has is, do Facebook ads actually work? Many people have heard or have read in different places that they don't work, that they're mainly for branding. One, they do work, and two, yes, although they can be for branding in the long-term play in which you want to become the obvious person that people want to consider when they need that particular service, the reality is you can sell from Facebook ads alone. The secret is you have to have the right message, the right offer, and put it in front of the right target audience. If you do not, then you are setting yourself up for failure. Much like with AdWords, if you don't set your entire campaign properly, set it up properly, have a good landing page with good marketing principles in place, with a good video, good call to action, great offer, all those things still apply. And if you, within AdWords, if you don't do that right, and you do it yourself in many cases, as I did when I first started many years ago, you will lose a lot of money. You could lose your head if you're not careful and you're not watching your budget. You could lose a big chunk of your budget. But if you have the right message and you have the right offer, you put it in front of the right target audience, it absolutely can work and it can crush it. I personally have worked with numerous businesses, and I'll share a couple of little stories here. This one's a little older, but I'll also be sharing some other ones. So in this particular instance, I have an attorney who decided to put together a pretty big campaign. We had recorded 4 videos and ran 4 different campaigns for them. And then I started to run a 5th campaign to retarget anyone that watched those videos. So in this case, at this point in time, he had 182,000 views and spent a little over $2,300. 493,000 people saw his ad. Unique individuals, 493,000 people. On average, most of his views were at a penny per view, and a view is considered 10 seconds or more. And this one at 5 cents per view, we were targeting other attorneys because he was trying to basically figure out we try to figure out a strategy in which he can get in front of other attorneys so they can work together on their client for specific cases. Here, the bottom one, at that point in time, I think it had only been 1 week, and we were running a retargeting campaign to anyone who had watched the videos and engaged them in any way or any way you can imagine. Whether it was watching a portion of it, watching it in full, clicking on the link within the video ads that did engagement, we put them into this pool and we started getting clicks to the website. And this is for an attorney. We were getting clicks to the website at 60 cents per click. Now keep in mind, obviously, I know that we spent a great deal of money. Well, I say great deal, but not really when you consider what TV or radio or even billboards cost. We spent a good deal of money, $2,000 to get in front of almost 500,000 people. I think it was well worth it. And we were able to then, once they knew who he was and what he represented and his branding, his face, we were able to get back in front of them and produce 29 clicks. And this was only like in the course of, I want to say less than a week, and 60 cents per click. Another example. To further dig in, here's one of the videos that we shared. I'm not going to share the video, but here's one of the stats, some of the stats on this particular video. 311,000 as of right now, as of about 15 minutes ago, sorry. At 311,453 people were reached. Now, not all of them saw the video. Their ads shown. So that's branding, right? 86,000 views. And the biggest thing that I love about this that you didn't see on the previous screen is 524 people shared this. So that was, when they get shared, obviously their audiences are going to see those videos. What he put together and the videos we shot and the content we put together was of value. People wanted to share it. So in a sense, we produced a viral video and paid for virality. We paid to get in front of more people. And once they get shared, well, that's free exposure. He didn't have to pay for those shares and that added exposure in front of those added eyeballs. Okay? This is the #1 video he had. We put together for it, and 524 times it got shared. Think about that. Next, this one got shared 26 times, seen by 11,000 people, 19,000. That's interesting. That's an interesting stat. I hadn't even really looked at it. 11,000 people were reached, 19,000 views. I can't explain that. I honestly had not seen that. But this is one of the ones where he was targeting other attorneys. And the interesting thing to me about this one is that it's a little more difficult. They're not in the market for his advice. They're not necessarily the type of people who just share that type of content. However, it did get shared 26 times because it was something of value that even those attorneys could use and share with their communities. Okay? Still powerful. And in this one, this is much more appropriate. This one got shared 369 times. It got seen. It reached 305 people. That means 305,000 people saw the ad in their screen or on their desktop or on their mobile device, whatever. 91,000 people actually saw at least 10 seconds. There are ways to track the stats of how many people actually saw it, like 25, 50, 75, and 100%. But this accounts the views as far as Facebook is concerned. The way they track that metric is at least 10 seconds of viewed. All right. Last one, 233,000 people were exposed to it, 62,000 views, and 179 shares. So let's put that together. 233 plus 305, what's that? 233, what's that say? 500, 511, 822,000 people saw it. 524, how many shares? 524, 550, 800, 400, 800, 900, 1,000. Over 1,000 shares between all the videos, guys. Facebook ads work. Now, okay, so here's the big stat to keep in mind. Last month, he said he was up in business 20% year over year. He's getting numerous phone calls, numerous contacts via the website, and a ton of messages via his Facebook as well as comments on his Facebook fan page, looking for questions or asking questions about where they can get a consultation or asking for more advice. And at one point in time, we actually did this at a national level. So he was getting calls from Los Angeles, California. Obviously, what do we have? I think we had one in New Jersey, some in Florida. So people were reaching out because they needed him and asking for consultations. Okay. Here we have a nonprofit I was working with in Austin, and we only spent $110, and we ran this campaign for about, this campaign for them, but the numerous campaigns for a week leading up to this big event in which they needed to raise money. Their target was $20,000. They had gotten, I believe she said, $13,000 last year, so 20 was a little lofty, but they went ahead and went for it. And by the time it's all said and done, I believe she said that they got up to 25,000, 22 or 23 on the actual platform, which this was run on as far as the actual donations from contributors. But in addition, they had commitments from other people to actually receive the money in person or checks mailed to them, the nonprofit, directly. And she attributes the great deal of that to the campaign. We put together a campaign in which we were preparing them in anticipation for the big promo. Then we launched a big campaign. This one was the biggest one, in which they got in front of 2,500 people, reached 5,000 of them. 2,500 engagement. Half of the people that were reached were actually engaged. It was a video ad. So they clicked on it, they shared it, they liked it, they viewed it. That's what they call an engagement. Sorry. So it cost us 61 cents, roughly 2 cents per engagement. And then the last one we actually did was just to thank them and once again remind them of the brand, remind them why they do what they do, and that, obviously they appreciate what they did. Total is $110. And she believes at least 7 to 8, if not 10,000. It's a rough metric because we couldn't track that on her site. She believes came from the advertising and the exposure they got. And once they looked at the donor list, they saw that there was numerous people that could not be accounted for as far as the board or any of the volunteers were concerned. They didn't know who they were. They were absolutely new people. Last example, this is a small ad campaign I was running for another attorney where we're testing the new lead ads strategy. In about a week, we turned this one on and off a couple of times, but she got a total of 7 leads for people that actually submitted their information right within Facebook. So they work. This one was just today at a cost of 91 cents. So within, I think, an hour or two of running it, we got 2 people that actually submitted their information. It only cost us $2.91, or 91 cents per form submission. This one, we're running a retargeting campaign. Guys, if you're not running retargeting, please do it. Do it for yourself. In fact, I'll record a video on how to set up a retargeting campaign soon. Uses a lot of numbers, and I'm sorry, but the point is, it works. I'm convinced that it can work for almost anyone and everyone. There's roughly, I believe they say 1.5 billion users on Facebook. Everyone is on it. Your grandmother is on it. Your uncle is on it. It'll work for B2B if done right. Now, we can't get in front of as many people as cat lovers, but if you have the right message and you put them in front of your people and you know who they are, it can absolutely work. So go out there, do this for yourself, or if you want, give me a call and we can talk about it and see how I may be able to help develop those strategies for you. Once again, my name is TV from Dallas Marketing Rockstar. Feel free to call me at 214-723-4757 and we can discuss how I may be able to help you. Have a marvelous day, and hopefully this was of value to you.